and welcome back to today's episode of Faith Edition Table Talk. You know, I believe that worship is really our spontaneous response to God for the love that He has for us. Join me as I will be talking about this interesting and passionate topic with a very good and talented friend of mine, Lucinda Parsons. Grab your cup of coffee or tea and enjoy. Oh, and have you subscribed yet? If you haven't, please do so right now, and also like and share. Thank you. Good day, Lucinda. How lovely to see you. How lovely to have this chat with you today. I'm so happy that we can finally do this. I think I wanted to do this for some time now, but now obviously is the perfect time to do that. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Marsha. Thank you so much for inviting me onto your channel. I'm really excited. Yeah, God's timing is always perfect, isn't it? So this seems to be, the right time.
Yeah, definitely, God's timing is perfect. Lucinda, I met you in 2013, 2014. I think prior to that, I've seen you many times on stage, obviously, with your dance school and the performances that you've done. And so, first of all, Lucinda is the founder, and she is also the head of Department of Teaching and the owner of His Kingdom Dance School in Cape Town, Kuilsriver. So I think during my time that I've been at His Kingdom Dance School, it was just so profound for me what I've learned there. You know, I've been a worship dancer just when I met the Lord. I had this passion to dance, and but there's just certain things that I didn't know about that I really come to learn at the dance school. And you know, the skill, the technique, the dynamics to it, there's just so much to learn. But Lucinda, just briefly described what worship dance or the ministry is to those who are unfamiliar with it.
Yeah, thank you, Marsha. I think that worship dance is such a broad, such a broad subject. And there's so many people that have put together just such a beautiful explanation. But if I should do that this afternoon, it's just to say that worship dance is really a dance that is danced for the Lord. It's something that comes from your heart towards heaven, and it's definitely for the believer. It's a specialized expression. It's not an expression that is ideally enjoyed by all dancers, but dancers who love to worship God and who know Him, who are in relationship with Him, love to worship dance. It's an expression, and it can be expressed in all styles and in all ways of movement. It isn't narrowed down to a style of dance, but it definitely is narrowed down to your heart. And so in a simple way, to explain worship dance, it is a dance from the heart of worship towards God, our Father, towards Jesus, and obviously celebrating the Holy Spirit. And it can be done as a ministry, or it could be done just as someone who loves God and they just want to express themselves in dance towards Him. And so that is sort of worship dance, but it's so broad. It's lots to happen, lots to be taught under the umbrella of worship dance. But it definitely is someone who worships God that would do this dance.
Definitely. And the dance school was established in 2001, hey? And just to add to what you said, I love the fact that worship is throne centered. You know, the worship dance is really throne centered. But tell us, when did God call you?
You know, Marcia, I cannot say that it was a moment. You know, oh my word, I discovered this is something that I'm called to. But it basically goes right back, I guess, to my childhood, when I didn't even walk in relationship with God, you know,
Yes.
a personal relationship with Him. I was not born into a family of Christians, born again believers. I was born in a religious home, but I've been dancing, doing formal ballet training since the age of 6. And I've always been dancing. My parents tell me the story of, you know, from the time I could walk, I was dancing. I danced in the supermarkets. I danced wherever. You know, the story of many girls. I think there are many girls whose parents can tell them stories where they've been dancing just anywhere. In fact, embarrassing themselves and others, just entertaining everybody in the supermarkets, in the clothing stores, everywhere. And that is my story. And I entered formal training. My parents signed me up for formal ballet classes at the age of 6. And at the age of 10, I started folk dancing, which was sort of character dancing in the ballet world. That is how they would portray it. And I feel that these two worlds of training has really put me in a space where I learned how to tell stories through dance, because that's character dance, national dance, folk dancing, and ballet, obviously the techniques and the skills of a dancer. And then when I went to study dance, because ultimately that's what I went to do, I went to study dance at University of Cape Town. I still didn't have a personal relationship with the Lord, and I qualified as a dance teacher. And only once I entered my career as a dance teacher in the Western Cape Education Department schools did I actually have an encounter with God, a full-blown encounter where I became born again. And it was just a natural step. When I thought I would leave, you know, the state schools to come home to be a full-time mom at home, a prayer friend and I engaged in some time of prayer. What will happen for me, with my dancing, and how will I supplement my income? It was at that stage where the very next step would be to use my dancing to actually supplement my income while I was at home. And God had actually spoken to me very clearly in 1998 when I was doing my first Christian dance workshop, that I must write a curriculum for Christian dance. And so sitting with him and saying, oh, where do I start? What do I do? And he said, I just got to take my whole life's journey from the time I was young, everything that I was exposed to, all of the resources I gained, the workshops, and he was going to show me. And so my Christian dance curriculum, Training to Empower Expressive Dance, was developed, and it's been ongoing. But with that, he said, now start a Christian dance school. And that is actually how I stepped into what I'm doing right now. And it's really been God-centered. I cannot take credit for the things I'm doing. So I feel the call was something that happened very natural for me. It wasn't a shaking out of one industry into the next. It was a smooth transition, and it happened because I wanted to be at home and be a full-time mom, and God said it's not done. So that is how this Kingdom Dance School and the call in my life, really, I realized this is actually more than just a way to supplement an income. It truly was, as the Bible says, your gift makes room for you, and it's God's intention and purpose for our gifts that He's given us to be the very thing that we create our income and our wealth. And so that's me. That's how I was called into it. And now I know full blown that this is my destiny. Things come effortless to me. I don't feel like I have to stress and strive. And if there has been any stressing and striving, it's because I've been wanting to take things on in the flesh. And then I must be reminded, you are called to do this. So you don't have to stress and strive. God will indicate and guide you what to do next. And so I've just learned how to enjoy every moment and to live in the moment. And then when He says, continue on in the next season, I continue in the next season. So it's been a glorious opportunity. And that is how I've stepped into what I believe God's called me to do. It's just very natural. Yeah.
Wow. I love it. I love it, Lucinda. I think I've said it to you before when I was still at the dance school. I said, Lucinda, you're living your dream. And and what you've just told us, that is actually what it is. And that's just God's provision. But the thing that I also want to talk about is that I've seen you during lockdown, Lucinda, and the videos that you've posted of you dancing in your house, right there in your living room, and how amazing it was, because it was really an awakening, I would say. And I've also listened to your teaching that you've done on the online Awakening Generation group, and it's amazing how God can speak to people through dance. And I've seen that during the lockdown, these videos that you've posted and the way you've expressed your worship unto our Creator King, you know, that amazed me. And I think it was especially difficult for me to do that during lockdown, because you somehow feel like you're locked in and now you can't do anything. But you've really reminded me, and I'm sure a whole lot of others, that we are still capable of worshiping God in our own expressive way, no matter our circumstances. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's just I just want to encourage everybody to just sort of be obedient. I think that is key. It's obedience. And that's just what I've been during this lockdown. Just my desire is always to do God's will, and when He creates an opportunity and He speaks, to actually do what He says, even if you feel you don't know what it's going to create.
Exactly.
Or what it's going to have. It's just to follow through.
Exactly. And I'm sure there were days when you also didn't feel like, I mean, we all have our challenges. Tell me if I'm wrong. Did you also have your days where you felt despondent, but yet you chose to worship Him in that expressive way?
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, I'm always dancing. I'm always moving in my home. I think it's my love language, God, to dance, to move. I experience Him through when I move, even if it's, you know, not even it's just movement. It's not choreographed movements. It's not trained. It's just me moving. I'm always moving. I'm always fiddling. I'm always flowing. Even when I pray, I find myself moving. It actually costs me quite a lot, Marsha, to be sitting very still.
Really?
In this conversation, I'm always moving. I'm always experiencing. And so the times I felt it hard to move was when I was in my pajamas, or when I was in, you know, okay, I got to get myself to be deep to go and do this, because I really feel God is calling me to go and do it. But I must also say, for me, my journey to be online and just to be worshipped really was an outlet. Called to actually be dancing during this lockdown. I feel it was really a time to be called, but I didn't find it very challenging to step out and do what I needed to do, because it was something He was calling me to do. It was something that I felt burdened to do. He gave me 2 visions during this lockdown. Well, just before we entered the very, very long one. Initially, I went off with the kids on the 18th of March. And He showed me 2 pictures, and the 2 pictures were a dancer dancing on very hard ground, and it was cracking open. And He said that, you know, as dancers, we need to cultivate the ground. So I felt there was a call for me to dance. To cultivate the ground. And the ground is obviously hot, people. And He was just saying the fallow grounds. I need a massage and dance on the fallow grounds, all the things people are finding hard, all the addictions, all the things that keep people weird. And the other picture He showed me later on, a few weeks into lockdown, was dancers running over the globe.
Wow.
Just literally the globe spinning and a dancer standing and running, and she had a wedding dress on, and when she lifted her wedding dress, there were boots. And this is a picture that God gave me a few years ago, really the picture of a worshiper, just in her gown, preparing for her groom, being a bride, and but yet being an intercessor as well, knowing what it's like to be in warfare and how to declare. And so when God brought this all together, I just knew it was a call. And
Yes.
I knew that there were going to be dancers that he is calling, not just myself, but dancers across the globe, dancers in every space, to arise and to start worshiping. And I just said, I'm just going to do it,
Yeah.
I'm going to spread this and I'm going to do it. I just want to be obedient. And so this was my journey on lockdown time of ministry. It's just really a call to obedience, and to surrender. So there were times that I just felt like I just needed to get dressed and go and dance, but I can imagine it's hard. But because it was something I was called to do, I think it was easier for me because of the practice. I feel as worship dancers, we need to practice obedience, and not just in our dancing, but as a lifestyle. And so that when the moments arise, when he's calling you in your dance, he's calling you in your worship lifestyle to rise up and to dance, you're going to find it easy to commit, irrespective of what's going on. I've had hard times during this lockdown. My husband's not working right now. The school is closed. We're finding our challenges. But yet I know who my God is. I know who I am in Christ. And so arising and stepping out in obedience, I've seen the fruit. I've seen how God has taken care of the business.
While you were teaching, and the moment I grabbed my flag, I actually gave one to my daughter as well. And we've started to dance and declaring things in the atmosphere. I felt heavy burdens falling off me. And that is so, so profound.
Absolutely powerful strongholds. And I love how he anoints us to enter territories, and he can anoint you to go into places, to really specifically speak into specific domains. And that is just so beautiful. And as we move, as we dance, we step in our anointing and our authority, and we can pull down those strongholds. And it happens simultaneously. Atmosphere shift, lots of things happen, and that's where even in those two topics, the two things sort of partner with each other. When I'm pulling down strongholds, atmosphere shift automatically. When I'm being healed, atmosphere shift inside of me. Things happen around me. A permanent atmosphere shift happens because I am now in a different space. I see things differently. I usher that atmosphere in wherever I go. And so I love, there's a phrase I teach the girls at dance school. I say, be aware of what you bring to the room. What do you bring into every room that you walk into? Because that which God has saved you from, has healed you, is delivering you from, you carry an authority, you carry an atmosphere, you carry a fragrance that whenever you go into whatever space, whatever room, the supermarket, the marketplace, the business, the boardroom, your children's bedroom, into your homes, you carry that into the room. And that you carry, that authority and anointing already shifts the atmosphere. And so becoming aware of you, an atmosphere shifter, is so powerful. When you dance, when you're moving, when you're walking, when you're speaking, the places you're in, things change. And so as dancers, we can shift an atmosphere, in a room as we move. And the dance is so special to God because we're movers, we can move. And so we can partner so powerful with the worship team as well, with the lead pastor in the church. They can sense there's something happening in church. It's coming from the back, it's coming from the side, it's from the front, it's on the left, it's on the right. The dancer can be commissioned to go to that space and actually bring a shift in that area, in the congregation, in the place of worship, and we can bring shift. And so I just love how dancers can be used to serve in the atmosphere of worship, to a worship team, to a congregation, to a church, to the environments we're in. We come and we serve that environment, and God loves the dancer. That's one of my latest revelation upon revelations. This lockdown, God has shown me again how He loves the dancer. He has put a special assignment on the dancer. He has put a special something on the dancer. Because there's something that only we can do as artists. The singer can't do it, the musician can't do it, the painter, the sketcher can't do it, but the dancer does something that only the dancer can. And so we've got to put value on our ministry. We've got to understand the value of it within ourselves first, not to search for it in our worship teams and have these battles. Why don't they understand our ministry? But in the meantime, enjoy your closet, enjoy your bedroom, enjoy your dance schools, your little ministry hubs, wherever you're getting together and connecting and learning. God will allow dance to come out and take its full space in the body of Christ. So that's a whole lot of stuff I'm speaking about, but I'm just like, my heart is just so full on the topic, and I just love it.
I know, and I think we can go on forever and ever. So I don't mind going on and talking about dance. But Lucinda, I think it's so encouraging just talking to you, and God's calling on your life is so evident, not only when you move or when you dance, but it's when you teach dance as well. So I'm just so excited to know such a talented and God-filled dancer like you. And I know that God still has many things to do through you. And I'm so excited about that, because I know God is faithful to complete the work He has started in you, and how He's going to raise up many others through your ministry. Briefly, tell us about your online classes, the dance classes that you will be starting soon.
Okay, awesome. Yes, that once again, it's just another next step for God. He's spoken to me about having open classes, starting to have open classes in 2020. Currently, our school is sort of a full-time school. It is an extramural, but the kids come and they join at a certain age, and they sort of progression like at a school from grade 1 all the way to matric. The school is put together with the intentions of progressive learning, so that we can really master something. And the online classes, I think we're going to start out with sort of just introducing what we do at the school, sort of a broader community of people. And I've had so many people over the years telling me, we can't get to Kuilsriver. Oh, we're not in Cape Town. How can we have access to what you are doing on that side of your world? And for this last term has really shown me how it's possible to do online virtual live classes. And so the online classes that I'm going to be starting, it's going to be an open class, which means you don't have to join every week. You can look at some of the topics we're going to be discussing, some of the classes that are advertised, and if that interests you, you're obviously going to sign up and join in on that class. Whereas at the school, the girls come every week regularly to their classes, and there's progressive learning. So the online class is going to be very much for those who feel, I love that topic. As the different classes are advertised, dancers, wherever you are, we are not limited now to the boundaries of the studio. We can go beyond the boundaries internationally or nationally, or even in a different suburb to where we are. You can join in, and the classes will be at a fee, but that I'll be discussing with the dancers after our launch class on the 11th and the 18th of July. And dancers can have a look on social media, or as they direct message me, as they are part of my mailing list, I'll mail all the information of our classes. And we plan to teach from 3 years up until adult. And there's going to be just a variety of teaching that I would love to make available to more dancers. And another thing that I also discovered is that a lot of dancers that would love to have some of the training that I do and some of the mentorship that I offer my dancers, they are involved in a dance ministry at church, or they are involved in a ministry, a dance ministry of their own,
Mm-hmm.
and they can't get out to the school to be part of another organization where they have to commit and have to sort of go through that progression. And so the online classes would really be a beautiful opportunity for dancers who are part of a dance ministry or a dance leadership team in another organization, where they can get personalized training to groom themselves, or where they could just outlet as leaders, they could just find a place where they can be away from their students, away from where they are leading, and be led and be trained and just be in a safe space of creativity and just worship. And so that's what the online classes are going to be about. It's just to create space for dancers beyond the school, and yet still me pouring everything I have into those dancers as well through this forum.
I know it's just going to be awesome. Like I said, I'm so excited, especially for the 11th of July, for the open class. And I hope we're going to be a whole lot that's going to join in on that day. And I know God is going to move. He's going to use you more and more, Lucinda, as you are open to whatever God is instructing you to do in this time and season that we're in. And we will have all your detail right at the bottom of the screen for those who would like to contact you. I would like to get in contact with you to register, no matter where you're from. It's online, so it's going to be available. So contact Lucinda. You won't be sorry. She's such a great teacher and mentor, and she's really inspiring me. Thanks a lot, Lucinda, for coming on to the Faith Edition channel today.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for inviting me, for hosting me on your channel, on the Faith Edition channel. I'm just so excited for what God is doing in your life as well, and it's just so beautiful to see, a dancer like yourself just going to that next space and level that God has called you out to do. It's just so exciting. Thank you for being an inspiration.
Thank you, Lucinda. Have a lovely day further, and we'll chat soon. It was lovely chatting. I know we can go on forever and ever about worship dance.
Your side. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.